too. But we know what's happening at the church, and we don't know what the other workplace them, but a school is not somewhere where you want to hear say you send your picnic go study art, music, and painting and drawing. Because you're a teacher, I bother your picnic them, and because them a teacher, them feel that them can take advantage of the situation. So we need to get it straight. So we will follow up on this. This is the Steppin Razor, the art of war. IRFM now brings you a live outside broadcast from the Bank of Jamaica in the street roadshow at the Isle of Food Store parking lot in Port Maria, St. Mary. It comes to you courtesy of the Bank of Jamaica, promoting an inclusive economy. Now over to Dwight Fraser, DJ Brian, the outside broadcast team.
Thank you so much, Muta. Is there any reason why you emphasize on Dwight Fraser? Was there any reason why you place so much emphasis on the name?
I can't read properly, so I have to make sure I say the word properly. You understand? Okay. All right.
All right, thank you so much, legend. I'll take that and I'll run with it. Thanks so much, Muta. We say good afternoon to Jamaica land we love. Hi world, wherever you are in the globe, listening to the nation's number one. We say good evening, good night, or good morning. The nation's number one. Today we're coming from Port Maria in St. Mary, where the Bank of Jamaica having their road show is a National Financial Inclusion Road Show. We spoke earlier with Melanie Williams. We spoke to her twice in giving us some perspective of what it is all about. It is really looking at the policies designed to help all entrepreneurs and business operators in getting their businesses on the road and getting their idea about their business to grow and accessing funds, loans, and so on. And we're standing by at this point to have a quick discussion now with Tishana Mullings. She is the NFIS brand ambassador. But just to tell you, the downpour has ceased here at the high-low parking lot in Port Maria, and many of persons are still with us, and we're happy for that. Traveled out to meet the personalities of RFM. So grateful. Kenny Salmon drama team in the middle of their act had to stop, but they'll be giving us something later on. So a lot of giveaways still on the ground, and you can come on down and get all the information you need to go into business or to expand what already exists. Tishana, how are you doing? Welcome to the nation's number one RFM.
Thank you very much. I'm doing well, feeling empowered.
Right, and I like that last word. You are the National Financial Inclusion brand ambassador and young entrepreneur. That representative, you're required to do what?
We're required to spread the news about financial inclusion all across Jamaica and what it means to be financially empowered. So there are actually two of us. There's Theodore Henry and myself. So in our course of work, especially as entrepreneurs, we interact with a lot of young people who need to become financially literate. And before I became an entrepreneur, I was working with farmers in this specific area, financial inclusion, of getting them banked, so moving them from unbanked to banked, and then empowering them to access different services, from savings to payment services to loan products, etc. But you find that these things have to be specifically designed for entrepreneurs, for farmers, so on. So institutions are called upon to become innovative. That's the financial institution.
Because granted, everybody pocket set up different.
Everybody pocket set up different. So the financial products have to be set up differently accordingly.
Suiting the customer.
Yes. For example, if you're going to do a financial product for a farmer, you probably want a moratorium period based on the crop cycle. Because if I plant a crop like ginger, I may not be getting a yield until close to the end of 1 year. So when you ask me for payment on the third month, I don't have anything to pay. But if the financial institutions are innovative and creative, we can find a way to partner with stakeholders to actually serve the people.
So as ambassador, then, do I understand you to mean that you help these people to tweak whatever strategy they're writing for these small farmers, the business operators at the lower strata of the society?
Well, a part of what the Bank of Jamaica is doing is influencing policy that will allow the financial institutions to be able to tailor their products and services to actually reach the everybody on every strata of society.
And in speaking with Melanie earlier on, she spoke to reducing interest rates on loans to single digit. It's a recommendation. How far-reaching will some of these policies go, therefore, to help people at the low end of the scale?
So the policy is one thing, but the people must also be empowered.
Indeed.
So I keep on pushing that as brand ambassador. So we can always call for the banks and the financial institutions, the policy from the government, but as a people, we have to find ways to empower ourselves. So if you're selling peanuts on the street side, you have to think about what's the next level. Can I move eventually to where I have a peanut factory? If you're a small farmer that does have 1 and 2 crops all over the place, is it possible for you to move?
So don't limit yourself.
Don't limit yourself. There are many partnerships with RADA, with DBJ, where they can get grant funding. So there are many possibilities. So one of my roles as brand ambassador is to point out these possibilities through DBJ. There's a program called the Reprogram for young persons who have agribusiness ideas, where they're trained and they're actually given grant funding towards their businesses. So there are many, many opportunities. And as I like to say, if you come from a family that has not generated wealth,
yes,
you create a family that will generate wealth.
Indeed.
It's about generational wealth.
I know one black speaker spoke of generational wealth, where our race is not necessarily into.
Yes. So there's a thing called the black tax, where as our children start working, we expect that the children should come and help the entire family while they're trying to build a family, and then it keeps all of us in a poverty cycle. But if we empower ourselves individually, use the financial institutions, the investment products that are available, and continuously increase our income, then we can break that poverty.
Boy, as ambassador, I'm listening to you, I don't feel lost at all, and many persons are empowered by virtue of listening to the information. By just coming out today in the event that you're listening to the nation's number one, or just tuning in and might be wondering, coming to you from Port Maria in St. Mary, the Bank of Jamaica, having their National Financial Inclusion Strategy Roadshow, the first of which was held in Moran Bay recently in St. Thomas, and now we're in Port Maria. Heavy rain earlier on, but now that has ceased, and we're back to activities on the ground. My last question before we let you go. One motivational speaker, Jim Ron, said, inspiration is what gets you started. Motivation is what keeps you going. How does that tie into the fact that many persons are inspired to start business but not motivated to continue?
Well, as you continue on your journey, and as we talk about, to tie it back to financial inclusion, we're looking at closing the income gap and closing the wealth gap. So every entrepreneur must understand that entrepreneurship is not a sexy thing where everybody just gets a business card, because it's becoming a thing now. Everybody has a business card. I'm an entrepreneur.
Here's my business card.
Right. But it takes a lot more than that in terms of putting in the systems that will allow you to have a business that will last the ages and remain sustainable.
Trishana Mullings, we thank you so much. NFIS Brand Ambassador and Young Entrepreneur. Continue keeping on.
Thank you very much.
All right, so that puts a lid on that report, and we get set now to throw it back to Muta in studio. We're coming from Port Maria, the high-low parking lot, where the Bank of Jamaica having their National Financial Inclusion Strategy Roadshow, and a lot of activities on the ground, and the music in the background is set to pick up in just a few. The rain has passed, and we're ready to party again. Back to the legend in studio. Muta?
Yes, that was outside broadcast from the Bank of Jamaica in the street roadshow at the Isle of Food Store parking lot in Port Maria, St. Mary. It comes to you courtesy of the Bank of Jamaica, promoting an inclusive economy. Okay, we want to remind that over between 3 and 4 brought to you by Prince Avery's. Gross Choice, organic fertilizer, 6 Sea Breeze Avenue, Kingston 2, good for all crops, including medical marijuana. Call 930-6067. Yeah, okay. IRFM now brings you a live outside broadcast from the Noranda Backside Agriculture, Education and Industry Expo at Port Road Sports Club, Discovery Bay, St. Ann. Now over to Teddy, the vibes, energy and location.
Yes, welcome back Mutabaruka. Welcome back to all our listeners via IRFM.net. We are coming to you live from Port Road Sports Complex. It's agriculture meets mining, Noranda Backside, Noranda Community Council, Agriculture, Education, Mining Expo 2019, highlighting the importance of the bauxite industry to Jamaica. Now we have quite a number of school children still converge here. We have a number of farmers. We have a number of stakeholders. And now currently speaking, we have the Honorable Minister of Transport and Mining, Honorable Robert Montague, addressing the large gathering that we have here. And of course, no rain, and we're still having lots of activities. To come later on to come, we have some entertainment. We had Tasha Gay Solomon and Selena Ellis who performed earlier on, and now we are going to have a small chat with one of our main organizer, Mr. Lance Nita, who is a public relations consultant. Welcome, this is RFM.
Thank you very much, Ted. Thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Nita, can you shine some light on what is yet to come, the show card show, and the various activities that you have? I think we should be. We have quite a number of entertainment since the start of the show, and you still have much more in store. What else to come?
Yes, well, we do have entertainment lined up after the speech making. We're going to have presentations of land titles to vendors connected with the Naranda land purchasing system. We're going to have those presented by the Minister of Transport and Mining, Honorable Robert Montague. Then we're going to have the Tri-C singers will again perform. We will have the show cart, push cart, derby racers doing 1, 2, 3 races, including a relay race. Now that is a display, a demonstration of a mini national push cart derby, which used to be held here at Kaiser Bauxite, Naranda Bauxite in the earlier days. So their boys are here, the young men are here, and they're going to produce and perform. We have the Tasha Gay coming back again. We have young people from the schools doing the quadrille. Very young people, by the way, I can tell you. And we have singers to sing, we have dancing going on, and we have concert items from some of our community concert, Naranda community concert performers and prize winners. So we have something lined up.
Wow. And this is our final link, Mutabaruka in studio. And who are some of the persons that you'd like to say a big thank you to for putting all this together? Of course, Naranda itself, and you must have some partners. Who are some of these persons you'd like to say a big thank you to?
Well, internally, we at Naranda will acknowledge the efforts and the vision of Ken Skiles, who is our community relations superintendent, who thought up this whole program, and we give him all the credit. Then we have to thank our community council, Naranda Community Council, our neighboring communities, representatives of who all come together to do catering, to do presentations, displays. We want to thank the entertainers. We want to thank the 4-H. We want to thank you for the yeoman job that you did in schools and in encouraging the school garden competition. So we thank the teachers. We thank the audience, the community, people who have come out, the nation, the media, and we thank the Naranda management and employees for their total support given to this first ever Naranda Agro Education Expo.
Mr. Nita, will we see this going forward? Will we see more of this agriculture show? Will this be continuing?
Certainly. We certainly intend to have at least an annual show. And we again also want to thank the minister, by the way, the ministers of government who came, the Minister J.C. Hutchinson, Agriculture, and the minister who is talking now, Transport and Mining, Bobby Montague.
Pleasure speaking with you, Mr. Lance Nita, Public Relations Consultant at Naranda Bauxite Partners.
Thank you very much, and you're very welcome.
All right, there you have it, Muta. I just want to big up my team on location, Ricky, Ricardo Powell, Irvin Dwyer. Big up to the team. For the final time, this is MC Ted of the Vibes Energy, and this has been Agriculture Meets Mining, Naranda Bauxite, Naranda Community Council, Agriculture, Education, Mining Expo 2019. Muta, take it away.
Yes, sir. That was a live outside broadcast from the Naranda Bauxite Agriculture Meet Mining, Agriculture, Education and Industry Expo at Port Road Sports Club, Discovery Bay, St. Anne. Yeah, okay. So we're there with you, Steppin Razor. That thing a while ago about the school thing there, you know. You cannot imagine how much other places these things are happen. I personally know that happening at the church because two people hear me talk about church all right, them come to me with them story. And a daughter tell me, over the same market, I tell the daughter, I say, I'm going to see her Saturday. I tell me how this person, Muta, me can't get him off of me. She said, me can't get him off of me. So we say, so why you not going to tell? She said, no, but and say that little thing they know because she had do it now for money and all them something. So it's all that are the problem too. But it's a whole heap of them problems there out there. Not to mention the gay part of the thing. The gay part of the thing is the next big problem too, Because you have, and people don't want you to say these things, but it's true. The top-notch school them, you have little girls that them lady is coming for them in some Mercedes-Benz and all these things. So when you say the little girl going on the car, you think it's all our relative. It's not our relative. But you see, them know how to maneuver the little picnic them more time. Connive and scheme on the little picnic them. Them is no different from the man them who are pull up the girl them off of the road and I do things to them. No different. One might sound and look like more violent, but it's the same thinking and mentality that do these things. So, so we are firing the other day and we are get whole heap of notes and this about this Clarendon thing we are going over there. So, no, me don't know how that work out that way there, but would I really like know them man there? No, would I really like know them man there? Me want to know them man there, Rasta. If any of you gentlemen, I don't know how much of you was there, young Timmy says about 7 of them. Is about 7 of them? If, then nobody not going to lock up if you know a 7 or 6 or 5. Well, if you say, if you tell me 5, I'm going to shoot you. Well, that's about 7. Well, I'm just trying to say, if any of those gentlemen is listening to the program, could you please call me and tell me exactly how that work out? Because me not going to say nothing more than say, them you, they no ordinary Rasta. Because when me look on the gun, them with the man, them have not them hand, on the policeman, me see with them gun, they in Jamaica, Me not say them, because we know say some big gun are coming out of the country still, but really and truly, because it's the first me see them gun in action who's not from not police, So me I say no, if them man they have them gun there, can't do that. And police not have a chance against them man, because the amount that shot to me ear ring out there, so and then I hear the policeman them fires like one shot, bye. Like you play a cowboy, you idiot, and the idiot a boy that you have gun, you're dead. No, Rasta, them man they, me don't know, Jamaica, because they don't know something. You see, me can understand foreign people, me understand them. Because you see when you say me, they are foreign, me lay down out there, when a man send me that on my WhatsApp, and me look upon it, me I say, a Jamaica this? Really, them things are going on Jamaica, Rasta? Because me can't believe it, but me believe it. Because me hear the talking in the background, and me see the place, and I know some of the places that are going on, and I say, no, Rasta, things get away. When some man can do that, and I'll hold hostage, the man, them are hold and protect themselves from the police, them, That, when me I see it, me I say, please, don't make some police get ignorant and say them no business with the car, them or just fire upon the car. But me hear the police them say them I try to protect the hostage them. Right? And the man them obviously I try to protect themselves. So me just glad say them never kill none of the China man them. $3 million them get away, $3 million them get away. Plus how much cell phone and all them something there. But them man they look professional. Me don't know if anybody think like me. A young, me don't know if you think like me. Me think say them man they are some professional man. How how them do it, and how them navigate the police them. Come one of the time I see the car on road driveway, you know, last time I see one of them around along and they just draw brakes and the man will jump at the car. I say, what? That Netflix me I watch. That's some Netflix movie me I watch rated. And them hear a man on the corner and say, them can't get away. The man, somebody who must have shoot it. Them man never dead now, man. Police will kill them. Them dead now. Them dead now. You see when the man get to the bad cause a man and say, run to the police, don't make the man get to it. Man say, no, man. Oh, what kind of movie this? And what kind of movie this? My daughter, what's up? That's the greatest movie she ever see. No, because at Jamaica, this is all. At Jamaica, this is where we reach. I mean, apart from killing and all them something, you know, but this is like a new level now. Because it's not the first hold up that we there. This is like Montego Bay. Them hold up the way name the van, kill the man them. Then go another one in a Montego Bay again, and this and that. But now, you see that one here, the amount of drama when another one here, Rasta.
Right, video. Yes.
Me thank the video man who video it. Yeah, me thank the video man, Rasta, because me I say, wow. And you know the man them, show how the man them, I think, because the man them a draw the China man them out of the story, but them now, I can see them face, you know. Because that man show me some video with some man go shoot some man in a place, you know. Me don't know if the man they are idiot. Because the man them a shoot the man and them face upon the camera. Me see one with the brother go in at the store and go, shoot the man and then go underneath the man counter. But you know the little hole where the man them have? You never see that one there? Yeah, man, a brother going a store, I definitely killing that. Him get paid for that. Because him no rob the man. Him just go so. Him stand up a little, and one man stand up beside him, and if him pull the gun, the man beside him duck, and him duck to buy and follow one shot at the man, and then him crawl underneath the mesh. You know the man them have them store and them have a little hole there where them serve you, them push it underneath. The man crawl underneath the mesh, you know, Rasta, and fire 3 shots at the man, you know, and then jump up back and gone, you know. And guess what? You can't see him. You can't see him, you know, Rasta. The man, that a brother was going to the gas station, we shoot the security guard. You see him? You see them man, you know? Them know the clock a tick. Because you see the camera outside of the store and pick them up. You can't know who. Somebody knows who do and some professional thing go on there, so some professional thing go on there, so you can't tell me that stuff. No, you see for ordinary do to that, it's like them are sitting down and watch TV every day. Yeah, they must have sitting down like me. They just watch TV, but just look on how the man them do the thing and work out the thing. I said, no, them man yeah. Because the car them out there, you know. A man sit down in the car wait for them, you know. And me I say, but wait, if a man sit down in the car wait for them, how come the man and I think say will get shot? And as the man them go to a Lego shot, them just go for next magazine. No, Rasta. Movie, Netflix, flick it. Yeah, this is the Steppin razor. You know, meanwhile, them things that go on. I think a Sunday that did happen. We get report about Sunday to where some gun get missing out over the article there. Some man write me this thing here now. I say, but wait, we are going in a Jamaica Rasta because a man supposed to turn in some guns because him not nobody for really secure the guns. I mean, a man to go be it happen too. And when him come back there, the amount of gun, let me see how much gun them say missing here, so. Because, all right, we have to go to the broadcast and come back. IRFM now brings you a live outside broadcast from the Bank of Jamaica in the street roadshow at the Isle of Food Store parking lot in Port Maria, St. Mary. It comes to you courtesy at the Bank of Jamaica, promoting an inclusive economy. Now over to Dwight Fraser, DJ Brian at the outside broadcast crew and location.
Well, thank you so much again, Muta, here at Hilo Parking Lot in Port Maria. Heard the music, back with us. The rain has left us, and the people have now crowded the tent and of course the parking lot. Getting information on the National Financial Inclusion Strategy by the Bank of Jamaica. It is a National Financial Inclusion Strategy roadshow by the Bank of Jamaica here in Port Maria. And my oh my, what a wonderful afternoon it has turned out to be. The rains perhaps brought the blessings. Trinity, Albion Mountain, Apache, Cox Street, Hamilton Mountain, Days Mountain, Galena, Rockabessa, Casa Maria, Frontier, Green Bay. They're represented here at in Port Maria at this outside broadcast. We're standing by to have a quick discussion though with Paul Chin, and Paul Chin is from the Development Bank of Jamaica. I would want to call him the head cook and bottle washer, but he disagrees. Paul.
Good afternoon, and good afternoon to your listeners. No, I'm not the head cook.
And your position?
I am the general manager for the bank's microfinance services division.
And when I heard Chin, the last name, somebody said, go to him, Dwight, him have money.
And I'm sure you were looking for a Chinaman.
Well, Mr. Chin, laughter aside and serious business, the DBJ, tell us about the Development Bank of Jamaica. We've heard it, but we don't know what it stands for and what it does.
Okay, in a very small nutshell, DBJ is the acronym for the Development Bank of Jamaica. The DBJ is a wholly owned institution of the government of Jamaica.
Okay.
And DBJ has the responsibility for directing a lot of the support services, business development services and financial services available through the government of Jamaica for micro, small and medium-sized enterprises.
So that is micro, small and medium enterprises.
That is correct.
All right. So there are three different levels. Small would be what?
Small would be, if you use the official definition, a small business is one that earns up to 75 million per annum, while a micro business is one that earns up to $15 million, and that is in revenue. That is the amount of revenue that they generate per annum. And for medium-sized businesses, anything earning up to $425 million per annum.
All right. So where would that put perhaps then the man or the woman with the cook shop?
The cook shop would fall, well, depends on the success of the cook shop.
The size of the cook shop. Yeah.
And the size of the cook shop. But for the most part, a cook shop would probably fall in the micro to small. And remember, we're looking at up to $15 million. So
per annum.
Per annum. So
in terms of revenue made.
In terms of revenue made. So if you're at $5 million per annum, you're a micro. If you're at 12, you're a micro. If you're at 1, you're a micro.
All right. Also, to describe for us some of the services and products that the DBJ offers to micro entrepreneurs.
So the DBJ, for as it relates to micro entrepreneurs, the DBJ provides wholesale funding to microfinance institutions for on-lending for micro businesses. So we have a number of institutions which are accredited by the Development Bank of Jamaica to on-lend to micro entrepreneurs. And I'll mention a few names. No, I'll stay away from mentioning names.
That's fine.
So you can go into one of these microfinance institutions and they will have money from the DBJ they can lend you for a number of services. We cater to businesses in the productive sector.
Such as?
So if you are into retail trade, if you're into tourism, if you're into agriculture, light manufacturing.
So the small farmers, perhaps the tour operators?
Small farmers, tour operators, hairdressers, barbers, cook shop operators, all of those persons would qualify as micro borrowers.
People listening to the interview now would say, but we do have challenges sometimes in accessing loan. Does the DBJ then make it easier for us?
The DBJ endeavors to make it easy for micro, small and medium-sized enterprises to access funding. So we have a number of programs which will facilitate the development and the building of the capacity of your micro, small and medium-sized enterprises. Some of these include our voucher for technical assistance, where we provide grant funding of up to $200,000 for specific services. So if you need a business plan, if you need formulation and you need to go to the Scientific Research Council, we will pay up to $200,000 towards the acquisition of that service. We also have a very successful program, which is the Credit Enhancement Facility, which is a collateral guarantee. So in a nutshell, if you go to an institution and you don't have enough collateral,
right, and them say, do you have a house, do you have a car?
Right, and a number of small businesses, they don't have that.
Right.
DBJ will stand in that position for you.
Wonderful.
DBJ will provide collateral support of up to 80% of small loans up to $6.25 million. And that is equivalent to collateral value of $5 million.
We're almost out of time, but I'd like you to tell me, though, how can entrepreneurs access DBJ for loan? Because they listen to the interview, but they want money to borrow to expand the business.
Okay, DBJ operates through what we call intermediaries. So we lend monies through commercial banks, building societies, credit unions, and microfinance institutions. So the shortest route is to talk to your financial institution, who can advise you what facilities that they can apply for through the DBJ.
Right, and again, it depends on the size of the business and how much money you want to access.
Precisely.
Mr. Chin, certainly nice having the discussion with you and learning so much more about the DBJ and where you come in as it regards helping people grow their business.
Thank you very much, and I hope your listeners have a very good afternoon.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
All right, so that was a quick discussion there with Paul Chin, of course, General Manager of the Development Bank of Jamaica. All right, we have a question now before we run, and this is for on-air persons listening to us. Who is responsible for the National Financial Inclusion Strategy Promotion? Again, who is responsible for the National Financial Inclusion Strategy Promotion? Call our receptionist now and answer that question, and of course you win a prize courtesy of the Bank of Jamaica. We're out of time. We throw it back. We stand by for music news. Muta coming up just next. We throw it back, but also we come back with our final report, and at that point we put a cap on what transpired today, and of course going forward what the Bank of Jamaica have on the itinerary. Muta, it's all yours.
Yeah, that was a live outside broadcast from the Bank of Jamaica in the street roadshow at the Isle of Food Store parking lot in Port Maria, St. Mary. It comes to you courtesy of the Bank of Jamaica, promoting an inclusive economy. Yeah, we'll tell you about something we're going on in Montego Bay the same, last week though. Well, not even last week, this week. Where office break-in, larceny of 4 shotguns and 15 revolvers, along with an undetermined quantity of 12 gauge and .38 cartridges, 3 motorcycles, 2 desktop computers, and a recording device attached to CCTV monitor system, all with an estimated value of $4 million, committed between the 12 p.m. the 23rd of the 5th, 19, and 6 p.m. the 24th of 5th, 19, at Iron Shore Industrial Estate. Now, it's a serious thing, because if a man have all of them things, that means it's a security company, that. Almost a security company. So the owner and the manager, what happened to that, the man, because it come like a bit careless, man. Eh? So much gun you have in a place and that just gone, so. That means that say, the man they're going to use that now if you go get rid of people. So what is the implication? What is the status of that man now? Who leave those weapons not secured? Them not secured. I would say these things keep happening. I mean, I try to figure out now. I not cars not throw no stone, steel, and cars not Persian, but them things that look more professional now than ever before. Come like says ordinary youth that do these things. It's not no little ordinary people that do these things I know. Them youth they were going to hold up the Chinese woman. It don't look like an ordinary thing to me. And I don't know if the government, I don't know. We would have to call in some Chinese to secure the place. Yeah, we don't know. We have to call in some people because them gun there, where the brother them have, compared to the gun them where they fire after them. Brethren?
Yeah.
The gun them were fire after the police them, as opposed to the gun them where the police are fire after the man them. It's like tie gun to.
A serious thing. A serious thing.
No, watch out. Me push up my thing to see the gun them and the man them, and you know where them call it? You bring it, you zoom in, yeah. You zoom in, you see the gun them, and say, where there? Them man, you have them gun there.
You think a joke?
I wonder if I don't know normal people them. I don't know normal youth them.
And them organizing everybody.
Yes, yeah, them way what to do. You do that. You go in and find the police. Cause you know what? When the Chinaman a draw out the cash register sign out, the man them say, which cash register? What you talking about? Cash register? Yeah, them don't know the money. No, this thing are weird in the rasta. That means that the man them scout out the place long time, you know. And know so well, cash, you cannot open cash register. It's a man coming out with some big M16 going to talk about you open cash register.
A float.
Yeah, we don't want no float. We want the money where they from the year start. Where you don't carry go a bank.
Achoo.
Well, I tell you, Rasta. Anyway, it have to go resolve all of these things have to resolve in Jamaica. And come here, tell the Prime Minister and them people them, you know, say. You see, if them things that we see are going all over the island not resolve, like all the policeman will just kill him wife all this week, yeah?
That's it.
And I said me that happen.
Yeah.
Policeman just kill him wife, you know, Rasta. And make note say, me do this thing here because she just nyang on me ears.
There's some on social media where I said the virgin will do the video with the robbery. That them kill him and don't.
No man, not go so man.
But
you see, that's the people are saying it up there, so people are saying it up there.
Yeah, we see that. We don't know if it's true.
No, we don't know if that not. We don't know if that not true. That not true. That not true.
Yeah.
Me not believe that. Anyway, but you hear me I say now. You see, the government. You see, if the government can put a cap on where we are going right now, them could have built big road little more and skyscraper build a little more and widen the road little more. The thing not gonna work because you can't have mad people enjoy big road. Sure. You can't, because the whole of we all get mad, you know. Because them say most of we, the whole of we all get mad, you know, we are traumatized. You understand?
Yeah.
Stress, anyway, we don't want to go no more your program. Music news time.
Get your phone credit from foreign instantly. Tell your loved ones abroad to send your credit with the new Zoom app from PayPal. Usain Bolt recommends it. The time courtesy of Zoom is...
Time is now 4:34.
Well, I tell you, say, apart from me can't get to talk about my program, Shamara just come disturb my brains with that video, you know. Because I can't believe some of them things that go on. You can't repost this. You can't repost. I went up on Instagram. This can't repost on WhatsApp. Because I would really like send it, okay. Babs is she's a gender lady. Mother like sending go here, Rasta. Mother like sending go here because first of all, we have to go find out which youth them. Which school you said it's from? You know I call the school name. Alright. This terrible Rasta. This. I mean, me never did feel good the whole day, but now I feel worse thanks to Shamara. No. Shamara, you could have done that to me, man. After me never feel so good already. With all the things that are going on and all the things that are going on, you gonna show me this? People, it's all go viral too, you know. This must go viral, man. Them youth me don't know. Would I lock up? Me not able to arrest them. Would I lock them up instantly? Them youth have to go to jail. And that me I say, them youth have to go to jail, Rasta. Come in never even say, the man them who rob the child them, I treat the child them like all them youth that treat the little madman. And I never call him no madman neither, you know. Because maybe he's a little man where poor and him homeless and him now know where to go and just sit down there so. And the people them just come and kick him all in face and him head, Rasta. And I talk about go madman. No, Rasta, what's we are going to Jamaica? This will really go on in Jamaica. You can't report that thing there. Send that thing there to me now. Send that thing there to me, Rasta, because you see that now, we can't afford to make them things there go unpunished, you know. The youth, them that do that, them can't face it, them can't do that and just get away with that, so, you know. Because a school youth, them, you see them shoes. A school youth, them. We can't make them thing there, go unpunished, Rasta. Believe you me, it's sad. Some girl? Yeah. A girl in there? You hear her voice? That's true, you know, yes, that's true. Girl in there, man. Girl in there. Or maybe a pure girl too. A pure you know, say, my young perceptive, you know. Me say you could have been law and order, Criminal Mind, all of the movie there, NCIS and all. No matter what we don't know where I got. And some little girl I did that, Rasta? Sad. No, Shamara, you can't go show me that and then just show me it, you know. We have to do something about it, you know. Call Shamara for me, Rasta. Because we can't just go look on that, so it can't just look on. After a movie, it's a horror movie that. That's a horror movie, Rasta. We can't just make it just go so. After you don't show me it, we have to do something about it. We need to find out which school. She said she know the school, but she don't want to call the school upon the ear and actually broadcasting go. Even though we would ball it out and take responsibility for it. You know, see? But we need to find out which school that go on and find the student them who do that. Because that is more than unacceptable. You tell her what I'm saying? No, we need to find out. We're not going to find out this week again, but we need to find out not find out the school because we don't know the school already. We need to do some form of, what you call it, investigation into these children who is doing that man that because them feel is a madman was destituted upon the road. We need to find out that, you know, brethren. Because I feel it, you know. Me feel it. You know, and me I tell the program I'm done without any event, and I say, you know, something will happen now where when we come back, it will happen to them. But this thing, you know, this thing will beat all of them. This thing beat all of them, Rasta. It grabbed me. So me can't ever talk again, Rasta. I want some investigation about it. I don't know how what Shamara would do to find out and get to the root core of this thing, yeah. But we want to find out these children who is doing that to a homeless man who them claim is a madman. Because you hear them a kick him and I say a madman. Them a kick him and I say a madman, you know. And them a kick him and I'm face, you know, Rasta. In I'm face. Them tell you kick the man, Rasta. The last kick tumble, the man gone clear over in the Mama, you come here. You wire it up for me. Alright, just like what you show me, I don't want to let it go. You understand? So I want you find out the school, even though the school is known, and we want to figure out it. We're going to tell police, we're going to talk to the principal of the school, to find out exactly what we're doing, because we can't talk about it and show me the video and then just let it go so. That's not part of me, that's enough. We just see that and just let it go. You understand? Because me I tell you the truth. That to me look worse than the robbery when me say on the thing. That to me, what me just say a while ago, look worse than the robbery. And when that happen? Them not show your time on it. Suppose all 5 years. I told them post that. It's there for your own too.
Yeah, man,
it's all over the place.
Instagram,
oh, but you know, on the WhatsApp. But not on all. That obviously never goes so. But we have to find out who. We have to find out them who do that. We can't talk about nothing else for the night in the day, Virgin. We have now catch part business. The brand new tune. Yes, may I tell you, I don't know if we're going to Jamaica, but something weird. When we say weird, it's like a horror movie going, and the whole of we are a part of the background. Yes. The whole of we are part of the background, man. Horror. You know when name Harrow? Harrow name Harrow. That terrible thing. And you know, say, yeah. I mean, everybody say what somebody say a while ago because that will get people more wild up. Yeah, I'm going to have to cuss all bad one now and then you know, say Muta cuss bad one on the radio. But them things deserve a little bad one still. Me, Peter? Yeah, man, talk. No, because people, you mean say, I saw Jamaica stay now. Really, I saw Jamaica stay in Rasta because apart from where burn pick me and a rape pick me and a do all that thing and just a shoot people so that make ghosts. We do other things now where really and truly weird. Anyway, listen up, top draw that I speak 2, pick 3, pick 4, catch part, drive time draws up next. As we say, we get some conflicting reports here about this man where get shot. And people saying that is the man who video the robbery. We can't really confirm that. You know, we can't confirm that. But people are says him, people are say, no, sir, not him. You know, we look on the thing that's a while ago, I will say so much people are say, Muta, you know, you say them kill the man where they have video the thing. And we are getting, you say, no go so. So we are going to find out who. I mean, let me go find out who. The conclusion to it is that you are going to find out is who get dead, not who kill him, but who get dead, and why them shoot him or why him get dead. So I don't know if anybody out there can call before we come out of the year if it really say it's him. When I talk about now where you get per WhatsApp. And where me I get you know, me not talk about when me I get for the thing up there so. Me I talk about really know, say, the man who them kill yesterday is the man who did that video, the whole thing. Which, that video they don't show you nobody. You still can't even tell who neither. So it come like a senseless killing that. You understand? It come like senseless killing. But apart from that now, we are told that this next video we just see a while ago is in a Clarendon again. So it's what going on Clarendon. They must say is a Clarendon. They must say it's some girl from Clarendon. I kick the man in the face and I kick him down. So I mean terrible. You know, so we don't know. We need to find out that no more than ever before. More than really like find out what is it that is happening to we that we reach this level. You know, me go blaspheme a little, you know, cause look you know, and people will say I blaspheme, but me go say it anyway. You say the God where the Christians pray to. I grew up to believe and I grew up to hear that this God see and know everything. That is where I hear that this God see and know everything. No, you are tell me say this Christian God I see man a rape like a baby and a burn them. Man just go in there and just slaughter family. And him see and know everything and him sit down there and not do nothing about it. We can't go believe in that. We could have never believed in that. Them people who go to church every Sunday and see this thing unfold in front of them. Little children. This is Child's Month. And the amount of killing, what we see a Guan, where Man just see a little girl and walk on the road and just take her away. And go rape her and then kill her. And you are telling me, say, this God, this Christian God, see and know everything and see this thing happen and don't do nothing about it. No, Rasta. But one thing to tell you that the hour between 5 and 6 is brought to you by Rubis. Fuel peak performance. Fuel the difference with Rubis. RFM now brings you a live outside broadcast from the Bank of Jamaica in the street road show at the I Love Food Store parking lot in Port Maria, St. Mary. It comes to you courtesy of the Bank of Jamaica promoting an inclusive economy. Now over to Dwight Fraser, DJ Brian and the outside broadcast crew and location.
Thanks so much, Muta. We bring the curtains down now on the outside broadcast, as I said before, at the Hilo parking lot in Port Maria. Certainly it has been an awesome day where lots of giveaways by the Bank of Jamaica to the participants who came down on the ground. Of course, DJ Brian on the stand. He played and revved up the party. There was a downpour, moved into drizzle, and then all of that left heavy overcast conditions on us. Nonetheless, the persons who came out were able to participate and learn a whole lot about the National Financial Inclusion Strategy by the Bank of Jamaica. The lady who will help me close the show is Melanie Williams, the National Financial Inclusion Coordinator. Melanie, what an awesome day it has been despite the rain.
Amen. I we're grateful for the rain.
It's all I would just preach. I say, all right.
I'm telling you, with all the water lockups, we are grateful for the rain.
Yeah. Melanie, today the Bank of Jamaica with the National Financial Inclusion Strategy were able to impart the message, because while there was a downpour, many persons stayed under the tent.
Can you imagine the commitment of Jamaican people, when they want to learn about how to better manage their finances? It's fabulous.
And right here in Port Maria, let me tell you, a whole lot of business here, small and medium business, So these persons would come in for information. They got the requisite feedback?
Absolutely. So we were actually able to learn from them, and they were able to learn from us. We had a panel with the Development Bank of Jamaica, with the Ministry of Industry, Agriculture, Commerce and Fisheries. We also had SureProfitsAcademy.com here, and our very own NFIS brand ambassador, Tishona Mullings, to speak to what it was like when you're starting off as a small micro entrepreneur and you have to do your own books. You have to build up your own record keeping so you can access those loans better.
I get the feeling that many persons left feeling empowered.
Absolutely, and that's what we're all about. But we were also empowered because we heard very interesting takes on what are some of the barriers to accessing finance, what are some of the barriers to getting better financial literacy content. So we are now empowered as well as Bank of Jamaica.
And insofar as the information is concerned, many persons were wondering about the things on offer. You spoke to us about the policies that will be that the Bank of Jamaica is orchestrating or helping with going forward for, let me quote, poor people. We look at a thing like when you borrow a loan from the banks, you have to have an arm and a leg. And the BOJ is now pushing a strategy to let the banks reduce those interest on loans.
Right. So, for example, in January of this year, we took a very different approach. Instead of being very prescriptive in terms of what you need to come, land, car, and those things. No, we moved from that to a principles-based approach. All the banks need to look at is our new standard on provisioning, which is on our website, which is www.boj.org.jm, and they will see when you're now assessing the creditworthiness of a person, these are the factors you consider. You consider their own history, you look at utility payments, you look at a range of factors, and then you assess the credit risk and you can better lend.
Right, and you look at people's credit history and so on and their ability to pay back. But some of the time, some institutions, my gosh, man.
That's why we are so grateful to have on board a wide array of financial institutions. We have commercial banks, of course, but we also have our credit unions, we have our building societies, we have our microfinance institutions. We're very excited about what's going to happen with the microcredit bill. We're bringing into the space institutions that have always been very nimble and easier and have operated in a manner that's easier to meet the needs of the people.
And people were empowered today, Melanie, before you run, of learning about the Development Bank of Jamaica with the fact, too, that they will help you access loans and provide the opportunity to grow their business.
Absolutely. So, Development Bank of Jamaica has over 20 partners that are approved financial institutions, and they have their voucher program, which allows you to get up to $200,000 as a small business owner. And we also had Ms. Mullings speaking to work being done, for example, by JN, that allowed her to get the capital she needed to expand her business. And she works with the youth. And with farmers. So she is really an example for us about what it means to be financially included.
In less than 1 minute, where we head next with the roadshow, the National Inclusion Financial Roadshow by the BOJ, and of course, how happy as a team to have been here today?
I think the team feels very empowered, very blessed, and we certainly learned a lot, and we got to interact with our people, because you can't just write a policy from top down. We have to actually interact with people and understand we're meeting their needs. Next, we're going to be in Montego Bay.
Montego Bay?
One and only, the best city in the world.
And where are we going? June or July?
We are going at the end of June.
Okay. All right, so we catch you there.
Absolutely.
Melanie Williams, National Financial Inclusion Coordinator. Always great working with you.
Same here. Pleasure as always.
What sweet me today, is when the rain come down, and you move the panel discussion on the detention. Nobody now move.
We're versatile. BOJ is versatile.
Come on, man. Thanks again.
Oh, thank you so much.
So safe travel back in.
A blessing.
All right. So that puts the cap on the Bank of Jamaica National Financial Inclusion Roadshow from Port Maria, the high-low parking lot. And we get set to throw it back to Muta. But let me just thank some persons. Carl Brady, our producer. Today, DJ Brian, who revved up the music, as well as Nicholas Francis, the broadcast engineer. And he was assisted by DJ Kamar. We'll leave you, though, with a quote from Bob Moorhead, who says, "The paradox of our time, we have more conveniences but less time. We drink too much, we smoke too much, spend too recklessly, read too little, watch TV too much, and pray too seldom. We have multiplied our possessions but reduced our values. We've learned how to make a living but not a life." Keep it locked on the nation's number one, the greatest station there is, RFM, with a legendary man in our time who we are grateful to have in our midst while we're alive, Mutabaruka. So like
Fraser.
You know, so the man I laugh.
Fraser.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know.
Fraser.
Me just hand over to you.
You know, say. If me go on this team, I'm going to listen to me at talk about.
Miss, with him down with me now, we don't have trouble.
No, if you go and talk them to them, I'm going to listen to me at talk,
He's an ancestor, me wake up in the middle of what me doing.
Anyway, I'm not listening.
Yeah, man, listen to you, man. Listen to you, sir. Listen to you, man.
You say.
Yes, sir.
If you go and talk them way there,
yes, sir.
Things that me I talk about. You understand?
Are you me I talk about?
And me I talk about?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. I am humbled.
Yes, sir. And we are humbled, sir, to be working with you and in your presence.
No, say you. Me. Chamara don't think that way. Chamara don't think that about me.
In Chamara say, oh, me, all right.
Humble.
Yeah.
Right, sir.
I Dwight Fraser, certainly.
Okay.
I appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I love you very much.
I appreciate, man. The love is mutual. Respect.
Yeah, and I hope them don't fire you.
No.
Okay.
Not for speaking the truth.
I hope you move up the ladder.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes. I work upstairs.
Yes. Yeah, and that me I talk about. Irie.
All right, my boss. Respect.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, it finished at last. That was a live outside broadcast from the Bank of Jamaica in the street roadshow at the Isle of Food Store parking lot in Port Maria, St. Mary. It come to you courtesy of the Bank of Jamaica, promoting an inclusive economy. Now, the hour between 5 and 6 is brought to you by Rubis. Yeah, different subject. You know, Child's Month. Today the last of Child's Month or tomorrow? Tomorrow last of Child's Month. We hear IRFM kind of pushing certain things toward the youth them, and we see Keshima and Amber do some clips. Keshima do the thing about the cell phone and children. When that on children is big people cannot do without them cell phone. Even if you talk to them about some serious conversation, I them say, go a movie the other day in the theater. And when we look at it, sometimes the theater usually dark when the movie ever start. When you look, when the man them turn out the light to start the movie, when you looking at the audience, pure little light all over the place. Cell phone on. I say, but wait. And when we reach a stage where we can't sit down and watch a movie right through without cell phone. And then sometimes some people make some mistake, I start talk loud, Yes, man, the show start. I say, wait, this what is? We can't do without cell phone, just a little time. I just sit down, so, cell phone. And it affect the children them now. I will talk about now radiation and all them something. We just talk about the whole culture, socialization of people because of the cell phone. We want to play this clip here because it's Child's Month and we're there with the Child's Month thing and we say, yeah, we like Keshima, what Keshima say, but me want to Keshima can live by what she say. With left your cell phone in your yard. You know? You're mad, left cell phone in your yard. Left cell phone in your car and say, tell me something, you see the cell phone, I want to leave it at the bank. I want to leave it when you go and Johnny and Tommy. You get nervous and bummy, don't it? Yeah, because you don't want to leave your cell phone. And when it want charge, you're mad if you don't see the charger. You find out some man, it's like somebody wants smoke a cigarette and not no matches. It's the worst man that you know. I want to write something not no pen. You know? Alright, so we're going to play this for the people then.
The tycoons of social media have to stop pretending that they're friendly nerd gods building a better world and admit they're just tobacco farmers in t-shirts, selling an addictive product to children. Because let's face it, checking your likes is the new smoking. Philip Morris just wanted your lungs. The App Store wants your soul.
There are 2 billion people, more than 2 billion people on Facebook. That's more than it's about the number of notional followers of Christianity. People check their phones 150 times a day, the millennial sort of audience. And so if you think about it, from the moment you wake up, it's like you're jacked in to this environment. And thoughts start streaming into your head, designed by a few technology companies.
What we find is the typical person checks their phone every 15 minutes or less, and half of the time they check their phone, there's no alert, no notification. It's coming from inside their head telling them, gee, I haven't checked in Facebook in a while. I haven't checked on this Twitter feed for a while. I wonder if somebody commented on my Instagram post. That then generates cortisol, and it starts to make you anxious, and eventually your goal is to get rid of that anxiety, so you check in.
And apparently we feel stressed when we can't get our phone or when our battery is about to die. You probably know this feeling. And a research done in Australia among 3,000 people under the age of 30 found that 9 out of every 10 admit to feel this anxiety while having his battery dying.
Steve Jobs revolutionized the entire world with the iPhone, and he never let his children use it because he did not want them dependent on technology.
Right now, an infant is getting their first laptop that's soft and squishy and makes noise. Right now, a child is being born online and being favorited and retweeted.
The hypergenerational segregation of our time is bizarre, unhealthy, and historically unprecedented. You've never seen the like of people sitting at a table in a restaurant not talking to each other because they're texting and using their Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and they are at the table and don't even know each other. In the house and can't even talk to each other. And the pressure that's on us to be like everybody else is so great that everybody tries to live like they're in a reality show.
As a culture, we don't have enough in common anymore. And that's because the internet, which was supposed to unite the world, has become too adept at serving us personalized content. Do you know what I saw on Yahoo's front page this morning? No, you don't, because mine isn't the same as yours. People get news feeds now that just spit back customized stories based on what we've clicked on in the past.
We are great consumers, but poor producers. We will buy what we can't afford with money that we don't have to impress people we don't even know, trying to be like everybody else. Get off of Facebook and put your face in a book.
Right now, a teenager is photoshopping their selfie because as a society, we're telling them they're not good enough. Right now, Influencers encourage narcissism without knowing the breadth and depth of their impact on their audiences. Right now, 40,000 spectators are in an Olympic football arena watching a competitive esports competition because this is this generation's football match.
There's always this narrative that technology is neutral and it's up to us to choose how we use it. This is just not true. Technology is not neutral. It's not neutral. They want you to use it in particular ways and for long periods of time because that's how they make their money.
You don't realize it, but you are being programmed. It was unintentional, but now you got to decide how much you're willing to give up, how much of your intellectual independence. If you feed the beast, that beast will destroy you. If you push back on it, we have a chance to control it and rein it in. And it is a point in time where people need to hard break from some of these tools and the things that you rely on. The short-term dopamine-driven feedback loops that we have created are destroying how society works. No civil discourse, no cooperation, misinformation, mistruth. And it's not an American problem. This is not about Russian ads. This is a global problem.
I challenge everyone to try going 1 week without social media.
Don't let your phone and social media control you.
Yeah, that was something else, that clip about social media, and the youth them just can't do without it again. Nobody speak to anybody anymore. Nobody speak. You know, you can't tell a lady say you carry her for lunch again because she just carry her computer with her and that there goes that. You try getting a little word to her. She say, oh John, I just get a WhatsApp message here. Can I speak? Can I? You know, you don't have a chance. Yeah, you don't have a chance. You understand? Anyway, we want to pay condolences to the James family, especially James Sr. and Shani. Now, them son was hit down by a tourist and dead in a Negril. Oh gosh, I said Negril. Treasure Beach. That accident that happened at Treasure Beach, where the brethren died. The family, we say, hail up to the James family, especially James Sr. and Chania. Okay, click it. Yes, we want to give thanks. You know, it's a shortened version of the program. And when I say shortened version, you can't understand what I'm talking about. We want to hail up Peter. We want to hail up Young. We want to hail up Shamara. Here we know. We just mentioned, we just play a clip a while ago about cell phone. And really and truly, as Child Month, nobody can deny the power of the cell phone now as it relates to the controlling of young people mind. Some big people too, but especially young people, because young people know about what to do on this little thing more than, I don't know, I never said them go to school to learn it. So, if we don't get to play the music, we still have to play this little clip, because, as we say, we are going off with a message to the parents. We are going off with a message to the parents. So, here we go with this message to the parents.
Giving our kids free access to social media and phones at young ages. They are not ready for it. Their minds cannot cope with the dopamine. They can only have it up to a certain hour and you take it away. They're children. You can take the phone away. We've got to intervene as parents. But as companies, we now have to deal with the influx of kids that are coming into our companies with addiction. Watch, I see it all the time. Walk through any office. You'll see the older employees have their phones on the sides of their computers as they're working. You'll see the youngest employees have their phones face up in front of their keyboards between their arms as they're working. And this is how they work. And the science is alarming. They did experiments on mice where they did the multitasking. They put flashing lights to mimic going from the computer to the cell phone, the computer to the cell phone to the TV. The mice that were exposed to the changing lights, it took them 3 times longer to solve a maze than the mice that weren't, and the damage was permanent.
There is a subconscious reaction to these devices when we use them. Okay? What if I were to hold my phone while I'm talking to you? I'm not checking it, it's not buzzing, it's not beeping. I'm nothing. I'm just holding it. Do you feel at this moment that you are the most important thing to me right now? No, you do not. Because there is a subconscious reaction we have to the device. When it is out, it makes the people around us feel that they are less important. So when we're walking down the halls in our offices and somebody says, hey boss, can I ask you a question? You go, sure, what's on your mind? We've just told them they're not that important. Or we can go, sure, what's on your mind? And if you don't have a pocket, find a shelf, put it on the shelf, come back and say, sure, what's on your mind? When we show up to a meeting, or a lunch, or a dinner, with our colleagues, our clients, or our friends, or our families, and we put the phone on the table, we have announced to everyone in the room that they are not that important to us. And by the way, putting the phone upside down is not more polite. My favorite one is when the meeting or at a lunch with someone, that the phone will ring and the caller ID will pop up and they will go, I'm not going to get it. Oh, so magnanimous. Oh, lucky to eat with you today. Or they could just put the damn thing away. You can tell how addicted we are. When somebody pulls out their phone when you're with them, how uncomfortable does that make us feel? You're walking down the street with someone, they pull their phone out. We feel stupid, so what do? We pull our phones out. We're so addicted. Somebody goes to the bathroom when we're at dinner, and what do? We have to sit there by ourselves. God forbid we should look around the room for 5 minutes. We pull our phones out. Meetings, awful. What do we do when a meeting happens, right? Everybody's sitting waiting for the meeting to start. Bob's running a few minutes late. Bob's here? Okay, start the meeting. Do you know when relationships are built? All that in between time.
Trenchtown, Raytown, Jonestown, Lindsay Town. This one is a mystery of escape. Put up your lights, I give you greatest. Put up your lights, I give you greatest. A million words with a million thoughts. A million words to escape, but a million words to get out. A million words with a million thoughts. A million words to escape, but a million words to get out. Yes, I'm from way down in the dungeon. When the youth them no afraid fi bust the gun them. I them no care if a night or if a sun then. I when them bust it all over man a run then. I them the youth them no afraid fi pop it up. I can tell you your locks them like it up. And if you disrespect and give them tough talk, them will in a rose down and bag up and instead. A million words with a million thoughts.
Area shut.
To escape, but a million words to get out. A million words with a million thoughts. A million thoughts. A million. Spain town, Trenchtown, Raytown, Jonestown, Lindsay Town. This one is a mystery of escape. Put up your lights, I give you greatest. Put up your lights, I give you greatest. A million words with a million thoughts. A million words to escape, but a million words to get out. A million words with a million thoughts. A million thoughts. A million words to escape, but a million words to get out. Yes, I'm from way down down in the dungeon. When the youth them no afraid fi bust the gun them. I them no care if a night or if a sun then. I when them bust it all over man a run then. I them the youth are no afraid fi pop it off. I can tell you your lords them like it off. And if you disrespect and give them tough talk, them play the rose down and bag up and live stay up. A million birds with a million thoughts. A million ways to escape, but a million ways to get back. A million birds with a million thoughts. Million thoughts. A million ways to escape, but a million ways to get back. I remember me first one pop. I've been strapped on a bed first pop. And I say me a go run in pan a shop. Me hear a voice shout up, no do that. Time's up but me nah make it bother me. Nah worry about illegal salary. This is the most designed to keep people in the poverty. A million birds with a million thoughts. A million ways to escape, but a million ways to get back.
Live at 5:45. Live at 5:45. Comprehensive coverage of the news, sports and entertainment of the day on IRFM, the leader in radio in Jamaica. Up to the minute, accurate and non-aligned news package plus weather, special features and entertainment. Live at 5:45.
Good afternoon. It's Thursday, May 30. I am Natalie Campbell.
And I'm Patrice Walters.
From IRFM's News Center, here are the headlines. 8-month-old baby chopped to death while his mother is being treated for chop wounds following domestic dispute in Manchester.
Meanwhile, sitting of PEP Grade 4 performance task examination postponed at the Ramble Primary School in Manchester due to attack on teacher.
Police Commissioner says the police have strong leads and are in pursuit of suspects involved in brazen daylight robbery in Maypen, Clarendon on Sunday.
Jamaica Environment Trust says it is alarmed that bauxite mining is taking place close to designated country protected area boundary.
The first segment of Live at 5:45 is brought to you by Shangri-La Flowers and Gifts, creating memories to last a lifetime.
Special occasion? Need gift baskets? Floral arrangements and event decor? Wholesale cut flowers and florist supply? Chairs and tables for your big day? Then say no more. Shangri-La Flowers and Gifts has just what you need. Visit us today at Shop 12 Jamaica National Building, Ocho Rios, or Shop 1 Westgate Shopping Center, Montego Bay. Shangri-La Flowers and Gifts, creating memories that last a lifetime. Telephone 974-3498 or 616-4719.
Now, the details. An 8-month-old baby was chopped to death and his mother is being treated for chop wounds following a domestic dispute in Manchester this morning. Dead is Roshane McPherson. The woman, a teacher, was seriously wounded, allegedly by her common-law husband at their home on McKinley Drive. She's said to be undergoing surgery. Meanwhile, a search and rescue operation is underway in Broadleaf District in Manchester for the alleged attacker. The man is said to be a taxi operator. However, his identity has not yet been released. His motor car was found ablaze in Porus, Manchester, and it is alleged that he may have jumped into a sinkhole in the Broadleaf community. The police have engaged other stakeholders with the relevant resources to assist in locating and removing him from the hole.
Meantime, the sitting of the primary exit profile grade 4 performance task examination at the Ramble Primary School in Manchester was postponed today. This as one of the administrating teachers and her 8-month-old baby were attacked in a dispute this morning, which left the baby dead and the teacher hospitalized with chop wounds. Principal of the Ramble Primary School, Lenford Pinnock, told RFM News that the decision to postpone the exams was taken by the Education Ministry after learning of the incident. He says he's uncertain as to when the exam will be held.
She's a grade 4 teacher. She's the one that was supposed to administer the PEP. So you can imagine when I turned up this morning and then I got the call about 8 o'clock of the situation. Students were prepared for exam, and when they got the news, crying all over the school. An officer from the ministry came to see what was happening with the exam is concerned, and so she was right there when they got the news. So she called the regional office in Mandeville, and they contacted headquarters. A decision was taken based on what was happening. PEP has been postponed. We don't know date yet, so a decision needs to be taken. What will happen next where those students are concerned on PEP.
Mr. Pennock said she is a good teacher.
I am completely out because she's a very dedicated teacher. Till even on weekends, she's at school preparing her students free of cost. You know, that's the type of teacher she is. She's a motivator of staff, you know, and I am totally out, down on how the community, the school community, the staff, the students, you know, we're completely, school was out today because we dismissed from about 11:30. The ministry's officer came, said based on the situation, there couldn't be any classes today.
He said a trauma team was on hand to offer counseling to staff and students today, and is scheduled to return when school resumes tomorrow.
A trauma team came in today, so they'll be there tomorrow again to offer counseling to students and staff. They did that today to students and staff. So the officer says she'll be back tomorrow to see what is happening. So we are not sure where the exam is concerned. So we just have to wait on the student assessment unit to see where and when the PEP will be done.
Principal of Ramble Primary School, Lanford Pennock.
And Minister with responsibility for education, Carl Samuda, has expressed regret at the wounding of a teacher in Manchester. The grade 4 teacher was chopped several times by her common-law husband at their home in Mandeville this morning. The man chopped and killed the couple's infant son. In a statement today, Mr. Samuda says the incident outlines the need for suitable anger management and dispute resolution options. He also explained the ministry's decision to postpone the primary exit profile grade 4 performance task at Ramble Primary in Manchester. The minister explained that the teacher was scheduled to be one of the invigilators for today's exams. He said students have been left traumatized by the incident and are unable to sit the exams. A trauma team has been dispatched to the school and that efforts are being made to ensure that the exams are conducted at the soonest possible time.
In other news, Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson says the police have strong leads and are in pursuit of suspects involved in the brazen daylight robbery in Mapen, Clarendon on Sunday. He states that the police acted bravely and responsibly in ensuring the protection of innocent lives, given the intensity of the gun battle and the use of hostages by the criminals. The commissioner briefed Cabinet yesterday on current policing initiatives as Cabinet sought a first-hand view of general strategies being implemented to continue the gains in the crime fight. It also sought updates on several incidents which have taken place across the island, including the Clarendon incident in which 2 police officers were shot and wounded by gunmen during the gunfight. Cabinet expressed support for the police, especially those wounded, and welcomed the Commissioner's commitment that necessary resources will be allocated for the care of the wounded officers.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the Jamaica Constabulary Force must have superior capabilities to respond to criminals. He made the point in relation to the shootout in Mapen, Clarendon on Sunday between police and gunmen.
Yeah, thanks to citizen journalists who circulated, I'm sure all of you inside here saw that video. The criminal element is not a ragtag bunch anymore. What we saw suggests a certain element of, I don't even want to use the word training, I will say organization. They were almost fearless. So the Jamaica Constabulary Force must have superior capabilities to respond.
Meantime, Mr. Holness says the police force is almost a paramilitary organization because it must have the ability to use force that is over and above normal policing, hence the need for a special operations unit. Concerns have been expressed about the disbanding of the Mobile Reserve.
There is an acceptance at the level of the policymaker that you cannot have a police force without having a special operations force within it. So If there were persons who were of the view that disbanding mobile reserve meant totally disbanding special operations, that would be a false view, and I would disabuse you of that right away. We accept, and there is no intent to remove that.
However, the Prime Minister states that the JCF must become an organization that can use force without violence and use it for proportionately and as a last resort. He says there will be stronger accountability in the new Special Operations Unit, which will also be grounded in the doctrine on use of force.
That means we're going to have to change all kinds of systems, give you new tools, techniques, and technology. But the first thing we're going to have to do is to change the mindset of both the society and the JCF. So the reformed Special Operations Unit will start off with this doctrine about how special force is used. And the members have to have this inculcated in them. And the leadership of the Special Force Operations must have it inculcated in them. Because above all else, the government cannot establish special forces to be unleashed on the population without accountability that those forces are not in any way diverted for other uses. Because the duty of the government must always be to protect the citizens.
Meantime, the Jamaica Constabulary Force will be given a new fleet of cars to boost mobility. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the tenders should be out this week or early next week. The vehicles will be equipped with global positioning system GPS tracking.
The government of Jamaica took a decision that we will order a fleet of police cars, not cars used for policing. And these cars will be equipped with GPS tracking and fleet management. So, sometimes I might be driving around and I see a car parked in a strange place. I could just say, Commissioner, I see a car, the number is XYZ. Where should that car be? And then if he tells me it is supposed to be somewhere else, and I say, no, Commissioner, it is this place, then the Commissioner has accountability. So the fleet will be well managed, but not just in terms of usage, but also in terms of repairs, because you will now be able to properly track mileage and adhere to a regiment of maintenance.
Mr. Holness also committed to acquiring a dialysis machine to be used by members of the police force.
There's one other commitment which I discussed with the Commissioner, the issue of dialysis. Madam Chairman raised the issue, and I was very moved by it. The challenge again is we can always help you with a machine. The issue is how the machine will be maintained and serviced over its useful life. So I'm making the commitment that I will assist with the acquisition of the machine, but the Commissioner will work out where it will be hosted, used, and maintained, so that members of the JCF don't have to go through that traumatic experience of not being able to get dialysis.
Regarding health insurance coverage, he explained that the process has started to see how officers won't have to pay out of pocket for medical bills.
Your insurance is such, it's not full. If you have an incident where you need to use insurance, you have to pay the part that is not covered. And in discussions with the Commissioner, this is something that we have to look at, because other forces have full coverage. And I believe that this is not outside of the capacity of the government to address. I'm not speaking to you now from saying I'm sympathetic. I'm saying this is something that we should do. We're past saying, yes, I sympathize with you on it. I'm at the point where we're saying this is something we should do, find a way to work it out. The Commissioner will come back to me, and you will hear further as to how we can address that.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness, he was addressing delegates at the Police Federation Conference in Ochiria, St. Anne. He spoke of other benefits and resources coming to the police.
The Nurses Association of Jamaica, NAJ, says it is alarmed at the violent murder of a Cuban nursing colleague in Clarendon yesterday and strongly condemns the attack. 55-year-old Nancy Samuels Fernandez of Copper Avenue, New Harbor Village, St. Catherine, was allegedly stabbed to death by an ambulance driver in Hayes, Clarendon. Reports from the Mapen police said that about 3 p.m., Samuels Fernandez was attacked by the male ambulance driver who reportedly used a knife to stab her. Samuels Fernandez was pronounced dead at hospital. The alleged attacker was taken into custody. However, his identity is being withheld pending further investigations. Speaking in an interview with IRFM News, President of the NAJ, Carmen Johnson, said the association is available to provide support to the Cuban fraternity employed in Jamaica.
We mourn and we say to our Cuban nationals that we apologize for what happened to their nationals, and we also say to them we are available to ensure that we support them and that we sympathize and empathize with them at this time. And one of the things is that we recognize that our society has become selfish, and so we ask that we look at how we are treating with individuals amongst ourselves, our friends and our colleagues, and that we seek to become more of a forgiving society, more of a person who is tolerant and understanding of each other.
Ms. Johnson noted that the NAJ will continue to advocate for a safe work environment and a more peaceful society. She is hopeful that the unfortunate incident will not deter Cuban practitioners as the island continues to look to the country to fill the gaps in the healthcare system.
So I want to encourage nurses that they should continue to do what they are doing. I say to our Cuban nationals, they have always provided the nursing assistance when we need them the most. We again have lost over 500 and they are again looking to Cuba to recruit nurses, and we hope that Cuba will understand that it is not a thing of the whole populace, but it's just a part of the affected segment of society that no longer seem to recognize and to value life.
President of the Nurses Association of Jamaica, Carmen Johnson.
The Grace Kennedy Money Services location at Junction Pharmacy in St. Elizabeth did not open for business today due to a robbery yesterday. In a statement today, Grace Kennedy said no staff and customer at the location at the time of the incident was physically harmed. It's not clear how long the facility will remain closed. Customers in and around Junction are being encouraged to visit other locations in Santa Cruz. Reported at about 3 p.m. yesterday, armed men entered the Junction outlet and robbed it of an undisclosed sum of cash. The police were called and investigations are ongoing. Grace Kennedy said it will continue to monitor security at all locations island-wide.
Meanwhile, the St. Elizabeth police have indicated that they are following leads into yesterday's robbery at a money transfer establishment in Junction, St. Elizabeth. Reports from the Junction police said that about 3 p.m., 2 men, one armed with a handgun, entered a pharmacy which houses the money transfer agency. A third man stood guard on the outside. Police said about $50,000 was taken by the men from the cash register before the robbers fled the building. But quick action by police resulted in the arrest of 2 men police believe can assist with the investigations.
The Jamaica Environment Trust, JET, says it's alarmed that bauxite mining is taking place close to the designated Cockpit Country Protected Area boundary, noting that the Cockpit Country is a valuable natural and national resource. Chief Executive Officer of JET, Susan Stanley, told RFM News that bauxite mining is expanding in Cockpit Country communities in St. Anne and Trelawney, which have been left out of the protected area. She says not only is bauxite mining degrading the land and displacing residents, but dust from the mining operations is also increasingly threatening residents' health and polluting their water supply.
Bauxite mining is moving closer and closer to the protected area. So it's already happening in some Cockpit Country communities that have been left out of the Cockpit Country protected area, and it threatens their health, their water supply, their livelihoods. You know, these are rural farming communities. So of course, the land is very important. So bauxite mining degrades their land. It makes it unusable for farming and agricultural purposes. So, you know, these valuable parts of Cockpit Country that have been left out, you know, they have great importance for our water resources. They also have important historic and archaeological value. So we're very upset to know that these areas have been left out and know the bauxite mining is happening in these areas and is expanding closer and closer towards the protected area boundary.
She said the government appears to be placing the interests of bauxite companies ahead of the welfare of Jamaican citizens.
I would just say that it's becoming increasingly apparent that the interests of the bauxite companies are being placed ahead of the welfare and the livelihoods of these communities and ahead of the protection of Jamaica's natural resources. What I would say is that, yes, leases have been granted for mining in these areas. We're talking about areas of St. Anne stretching from Gibraltar and St. Anne to Alps, Ulster Springs, Sawyers and Trelawney. Yes, leases have been granted, but the environmental permits have not yet been given. So there is still time for Jamaicans to continue raising their objections.
Ms. Stanley is urging citizens not to give up the fight for the protection of the natural resource.
So, even though these are areas that have been left out of the protected area, they have value. They are important for all of these reasons that I have stated: water, livelihoods, the environment, historic and archaeological value, cultural value. And there is still time for us to raise our objections and say, no, we do not want mining in these Cape country communities.
CEO of JET, Susan Stanley.
A proposal to have Governor General Sir Patrick Allen in council appoint and terminate the central bank's governor and directors is to be referred to a technical team for assessment. The matter was discussed during yesterday's sitting of the Joint Select Committee, which is reviewing the Bank of Jamaica Amendment Act. The intention is to have some balance of power between the bank's directors and governor. These appointments will be made by the Governor General on the advice of the Cabinet. Committee member Mark Golding raised concern about possible political interference if the Cabinet makes recommendations to the Governor General on who to terminate.
On reflection, it raises a red flag conceptually for me, because the removal of somebody from an office or post, is a thing which is justiciable if it is not done in accordance with due process of law, or including for a lawfully defensible reason. And so we're bringing the Cabinet and the Governor General on the advice, because the Governor General is a
And committee member Peter Bunting suggested to Chairman Dr. Nigel Clark that the process could instead be done through a tribunal.
So if you were to apply that here, a tribunal appointed by who would make a recommendation and the Governor General would act on that recommendation?
But the referral to the Governor General might be from the Prime Minister or the Minister or the Chairman of the Public Service Commission, as the case may be.
Who appoints the
Governor General. But what I'm saying, the matter would be brought to the Governor General's attention by somebody.
And Lambert Brown then said it would be best if the matter be looked at by the bank's technical team in order to offer suggestions.
So if we went with the board, recommends or makes a decision, passes it to the minister advises the Governor General.
Chairman, I propose that we ask the technical people and the DOJ to look at a mechanism that would capture the issue of natural justice, the real independence because Minister, Governor General and Council being cabinet smacks of a lack of independence because the politicians are interfering, and also a point the governor raised the last time, the speed in making the changes. So maybe we need to find a model that captures that. I don't think we will solve it now, but pass it to the technical people to see if they can capture what Member Golding and Bunting and the rest also been saying in terms of natural justice and greater independence.
Committee member Lambert Brown, and before him, Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark.
Motorists in Spanish Town, St. Catherine are being advised that they should use alternative routes to Brunswick Avenue where possible, as drainage improvement works are being carried out near Young Street. National Works Agency NAA Communication and Customer Services Manager Stephen Shaw said the roadway has been reduced to single lane to allow for the replacement of a defective drain grating. As a result, motorists may face delays. The restriction is to allow for the satisfactory completion of concrete works. Most motorists approaching Brunswick Avenue from the direction of Eltham should use Young Street, while those traveling from Brunswick Avenue are to utilize the extreme left side of the roadway. Activities on the $5 million project will continue into tomorrow, Friday, May 31, with installation of the new grating, following which the roadway will be reopened to normal two-way traffic. The project also entails the rehabilitation of sidewalks as well as the construction of some amount of curb and channel.
And with that story, we have come to the end of the local news, brought to you by Shangri-La Flowers and Gifts, creating memories to last a lifetime.
You're listening to Live at 5:45. Still to come, our Caribbean and sports. But first, here's the weather.
There is a trough across Jamaica and the Western Caribbean. It is expected to drift westward and away from Jamaica tonight, allowing a high-pressure ridge to build by tomorrow morning. The ridge is expected to remain across the island through to early next week. Tonight will be mostly cloudy with a few lingering showers, while tomorrow morning will be partly cloudy, mainly across eastern parishes, otherwise generally fair. And tomorrow afternoon we'll see widely scattered showers across sections of most parishes. We now bring you our Caribbean, some of the stories making the headlines from across the region.
In an unprecedented move for the country, Cuba has legalized private Wi-Fi networks and the importation of equipment like routers, eliminating one of the world's tightest restrictions on internet use. The measure was announced by state media on Wednesday and provides a legal status to thousands of Cubans who created homemade digital networks with smuggled equipment that was illegal but generally tolerated by authorities in recent years. The Associated Press reports that the move will also allow private businesses to provide internet to customers. Antigua and Barbuda is among individuals and organizations from 6 countries across the Americas that will be honored with the 2019 World No Tobacco Day Award. The World Health Organization awards the honors annually to recognize outstanding contributions to advancing the fight against the harmful effects of tobacco smoke. The WHO says the nation will be awarded for becoming the 3rd country in the region to approve within a single comprehensive legislation a ban on smoking in indoor public places and workplaces, mandatory graphic health warnings on tobacco products, and a ban on tobacco advertising, promotion, and sponsorship. Caribbean 360 notes that the award was announced yesterday ahead of World No Tobacco Day, which is observed on May 31. Barbadian Prime Minister Mia Mottley has taken issue with the treatment meted out by the international world to small island nations within the Caribbean, particularly in terms of climate and disaster risks. Ms. Mottley contends that Caribbean nations, due to their inherent vulnerabilities, continue to be severely disadvantaged. According to Barbados Today, she notes that while countries have individual responsibilities to move from risk to resilience, the international community too has a role to play. She made the point while referring to the region's contribution to greenhouse gas emissions, which she notes is as negligible as its capacity to destroy global trade in goods and services. Finally, starting tomorrow, Venezuelan nationals in Trinidad and Tobago will be required to register with the government. The registration of the migrants who are seeking asylum in the country is an effort to offer protection from exploitation, including by employers, and the opportunity to live and work undisturbed in Trinidad and Tobago. TNT is seeking to conduct data gathering to calculate the total number of Venezuelans living in the country. The Trinidad Express notes that the registration process is set to run from May 31 to June 14. For our Caribbean, I am Danique Weston.
For the international news, we now join the Voice of America.
Calls for President Donald Trump's impeachment are growing from some Democrats on Capitol Hill, and the president is dismissing them. Acting U.S. Defense Secretary Patrick Shanahan said Thursday he did not authorize and was not aware of a White House directive to have the U.S. Navy warship USS John S. McCain